Okay, so the last session, right, we were trying to run the cookbook, which is failing to localize the configuration file, which is CFG file. This is that like database entries like username, database username, password. All these things are not localizing. Okay, the issue is in our template file. If you look at the template file, we have to provide with at the rate, and the variable name, db user, db password, okay, and db ip, db port, db name, right? Now, and again, all these variables, all these attributes, we have to mention in your recipe, okay, like this. So dbip, I just tried it, okay. So what dbip, and you have to get the dbip from the attributes, okay, which is mysql dbip, right? And in your template, under variable section, you go to the template, under variable section, you can write colon dbip code. This is what you are reading, okay, and this is what it is evaluating, okay, and whatever the value you got it from the attribute, it will also, and this it will localize it in your hibernate config dot this template file. Okay, now I've written for one variable. Okay, now we'll write it for the n number of variables. Okay, so let me try to create variables in the recipe. Get the value of the variables. db name. Okay, it's the same thing. Copy, paste, db name, and copy, paste, paste. Right, now let's try to edit one by one. So db ip, db name, db port, next db user, db password, db user. Okay, once you define all these values, just come down, the same values you have to define over here. Okay, db name, db name, db port, db port, db user, db password, right? So now you try to upload this cookbook.
Sir, అక్కడ DB POT పడింది సార్ పోర్ట్.
Oh, db, yeah, db pwd, okay, db port, upload. Now bootstrap, wait. Okay, so let's check whether it is really localized or not. Open this. Yes, can you see this? MySQL, IP, port number, DB, username, password, everything is good. Now let's try to access the app. It's 192.16.15.11.8080. Data. Okay. Java chap. Oh, still some issue. S exception. No class form. Let's see their log section. Okay, got it. So we are not deleting the existing war file actually, so which is creating 1, 2, 3, 4, all this thing. Okay, so we have to delete as well the existing one. So let's try to modify our cookbook to delete the existing ones. That's the reason it is not working. So you're trying to download over here, right, using wget. Okay, so before downloading, let's try to execute one more command. Copy, paste. So what we will do it, rm minus rf var tomcat copy paste star. So the var files as well as the directory, everything will be deleted with this command. Okay, and this we call it as a delete existing reader. Okay, then download, then start. Upload this cookbook. Run the bootstrap. That's cool. Let's see now. So can you see this time only one lead app one? Okay, so once it is done, let's cross check whether I could able to log in or not. Java chap. That's it. Here you go. Okay, so your deployment has been successfully done. Right, now this is how you automate typical your application deployments. Now what, see, look at this. I didn't copy pasted this cookbook from anywhere and all. I'm showing you in case if you get any kind of this kind of problems. Okay, you fix, run, you fix, test, you fix, test, you fix. So until you get a right cookbook. Okay, I mean the proper cookbook. That's how the development goes on. Like even the developers also, until they get a correct output, they keep doing the changes and they're running it. Even in your case, you have to do the same way. Okay, now this cookbook is ready to do the is ready to deploy your application. Okay, now this cookbook, what you can do it, you can commit into your Git repository, like you can maintain a separate deployment script repository. Okay, and what you can do it, you can implement this deployment instead of nobody would like to come to a Linux machine and run this command. Okay, so they want some easier way, and also they want this to be automated when the build is done. So that's called a continuous delivery process. So if you remember the continuous delivery process which I'm talking about, I'll show you the image which I draw on the day. DevOps, continuous delivery, continuous Nexus, SVN, Git workflow. It's not there. Okay, let me try to draw this. So first we build, we check out. Okay, VCS checkout. Okay, right. Then next, this is build and build process. Okay, and this is unit test and static analysis. Okay, right. So we did the all these steps with the help of the Jenkins. Okay, and that we call as the continuous integration. Okay, so what exactly continuous integration meaning is, for every code check-in, now whenever a developer, let's treat this guy as a developer. Okay, so whenever he makes any changes to the your repository, assume like this is what your repository, your Git repository, Git. Okay, what happens, your Jenkins system, okay, will automatically checks your Git repository, and if some changes happen, it will trigger the build. It will check out the code. Okay, it will build the code, it will unit test the code, and finally it will report your developers, like reporting. This is sends an email. Okay, reporting saying like what happened to your change, right? So this happens in a build machine. So these are all happens in a build machine. Now the thing is, this process we call a continuous integration. Now we wanted to extend this process as a continuous delivery. Okay, so to extend this as a continuous delivery, not only the build, what you're supposed to do it, you have to do the deployment as well. Okay, so if you do the deployment, right, the environment will be up and running, like as part of the deployment process. Okay, so what happens, you will be having some environment, like it can be QA or dev, any environment. Okay, so QA environment. So what happens, as part of the deployment process, it will deploy the things into your QA environment. Okay, whenever your build is successful, so immediately the deployment is job. You might be thinking, what is the benefit of doing this? See, just by doing the deployment, there is no benefit to the developer, but actually at right now in the market we have something called test automation. You might be heard about, like the Selenium automation. Okay, right, what they exactly do it, if you have a running environment, okay, they will trigger some automation scripts. Okay, so this is called the test automation part. Okay, now in this test automation, they will run all their test suites, okay, against your environment. Okay, so to run this test automation, your deployment should be successful. Okay, so nothing but to proceed further, right, okay, you have your previous task should be successful. Okay, your previous task should be successful, like this. To do the deployment, your build task should be successful. To do the test automation, your deployment task should be successful, right? Then only you can do the test automation, right? So if this is failure, right, this environment will not be up. If this is not up, you cannot perform the test automation. If build is failure, you cannot deploy, because to deploy it you need the artifacts, right? So this entire process from here to till the test automation, okay, this we call it as a continuous delivery process model. Continuous delivery process model. Okay, so this is also called CD, continuous delivery. Okay, now we can easily achieve this. Okay, we already did this continuous integration part, and now we know the deployment automation as well to the environment. Okay, so till this part we can do it. Test automation at this point of time, right? See, you don't need to do anything, guys. In test automation, you will get the Q automation team suits. A suit nothing but some software tool they'll give it to you. You just start to run as part of your process. Okay, now this entire continuous delivery model we can implement in a Jenkins or any kind of a CA tool. Okay, TeamCity, Jenkins or Bamboo, any tool. So I'm going to show you this continuous delivery model in Jenkins itself. Okay, so most of the people does this in the Jenkins. So open the Jenkins. This is what your Jenkins, right? So try to log in as an admin. Right, now let's try to create a build first job, like lead app build. I'm doing it for the lead app application, guys. Okay, it's a freestyle project, just choose that. Okay, so you should have a code base with you. Okay, so you should integrate the git right now, like I've decommissioned the git repository, guys. So what I can do it, I can provide where exactly the source code is there. I'll use custom workspace, and I can show where exactly the code is there. The code is there at uh, lead, lead app here. Okay, here the code is there. I can choose this. Right, now the build will happen over here, as the build is really happening here. And okay, there's Java is there at least here. Okay, Java is there. And script and version, nothing, just called var. Okay, apply. Let's see whether this performs the build or not. It is not performing. Okay, and what the command failed. Maybe you need to configure the job to choose the ant installation. Yeah, ant installation we need to choose. Go to the master, configure, and home I need to show. Okay, so to show the ant home, right, I need to copy the ant from my Windows machine to that machine. Let me copy the ant from Windows to there. CP vagrant, 168.16.10. Vagrant. Just copied the unzip Apache ant. Oops, 1 second. I think ant seems to be already there. Yeah, ant is there, guys, already. I can just provide this path. So take this path, copy. Let's try to build this. I'll do one thing. Let me try to run in this Linux node. This Linux node is anyway up and running, right? So let's do it on this Linux node. Configure. cannot find that installation. Why it cannot find? Manage slave configure. Is this not there or what? Got it. It is looking for the jar. Okay. So unnecessarily time wasted. So guys, what I will do it. I'll just skip the build stuff for now because we have to copy the tools.jar, like setting up the entire Jenkins stuff. But that is what I mean, that is not I wanted to discuss with you. So what I will do it, I'll just skip the build part. Okay, for now. What we will do it, because the build is already done, right? So we'll take the artifacts. Okay, so that you know it will get the SQL and WAR files. Delete this build step. Apply. Run it. Right, so the build step is done. So think like, you know, if you fixed your build step, you will get a lead app war and schema.sql. So once these are available, the next, let's create one more job. Okay, lead app deploy. This treated this as also like, you know, freestyle job. And here you need to check out your cookbooks from your Git repository, like once you committed. But I didn't committed my cookbooks in a Git repository, so I can directly make use of the workspace location. So what I will do it, I'll just make use of the workspace location where I ran this stuff, chef repo. Okay, but actually I have to commit this one and check out and run the commands. So use workspace. Okay, now in this you have to call, choose the shell. Okay, and what are the bootstrap command you are running it, right? Bootstrap. So take this bootstrap command, copy, paste it. Okay, apply, save it. Right now, this lead deploy, you shouldn't run it actually. So what you're supposed to do it, once your this lead build is successful, the deploy should automatically execute. So to make that, we can make a dependency in Jenkins. Okay, as a post build action, can you see something like, you know, build other products? Okay, now here you provide lead app deploy. Okay, and when the build is stable, nothing but if the build is successful, then only you trigger it. Okay, apply. See this. Now look at this, guys. So the lead app deploy didn't trigger it. Okay, but I'm trying to trigger the lead app build. Once this is triggered, the lead app deploy will automatically trigger. Can you see this? It is triggered automatically. Okay, this is going on. Now you can check the output of this. See, the live bootstrap is running now. See, whatever you write on the console, the same thing is happening from Jenkins now. Okay, now you look at this. Are you trying to, I mean, are you achieving this continuous delivery model? The build step is the first job. The deployment is the second job. Okay, now we'll perform the another job called test automation. Okay, so the other job for test automation is something like you trigger the test suite which is given by your QA automation team. So let's, while this is going on, let it go on. That will go fine. We'll try to create one more job which is lead app test. Okay, freestyle project. So here what you do it, the test automation team will provide some test automation tool which can be Selenium, Q2P, anything. Okay, that code you'll check out and you run it. But right now I don't have anything here to do, so I'm just skipping, just putting some hello world and moving ahead. Okay, because no suit is available. So echo test automation needs to be executed over here. Okay, right. So and go to your this job. See, lead app deploy is still going on. Okay, so what I can do it in lead app deploy, if lead app deploy is successful, okay, like if you look at the diagram, if lead deployment is successful, I have to trigger the test automation suite, right? So that dependency I can give it here as a post build action. Okay, so build other parts, which is lead app test, and if the deployment is stable only, nothing but if the deployment job is successful, then only it will trigger. So the deployment is still going on. Okay, let it go on. So now we have total 3 jobs. Okay, lead up build, lead up deploy, lead up test. Now all these three, okay, to make a good nice view, we can make use of the Jenkins pipeline plugin. Okay, that will display these 3 things in a pipeline way where you will be knowing what exactly going on in the dashboard. Okay, that can be done with the help of click on the plus symbol, uh, build lead app pipeline. Sorry, not this way, guys. I think we have to install the plugin. Did you see pipeline anywhere? Manage plugins. Let's try to install the pipeline one. Yeah, build a pipeline plugin. This was the plugin. Just install this. Meanwhile, check whether this is still going on. I think this is still going on. Machines are in a too bad state. Can you see this? 5 MB memory. That's why it is pretty slow. Okay, this pipeline plugin is installed. So once the pipeline plugin is installed, now you just click on this. You can say build pipeline. Can you see this? So in this, choose the build pipeline and provide your pipeline name. Okay, so I will say lead app project. Now select this. Now you just have to put the first job, whatever the first job is, a build job. Now the rest of thing it automatically takes care of, like getting the dependency stuff. Okay, now just say apply. Okay, this is what your pipeline. Can you see this? The first one is the green color one is the build job, lead app build, and the deployment is still going on. Can you see the bar here? And lead up test is what, it is not yet executed. Okay, not available. So If you want to look at the console log, you can just click on this. It will take you to the console log directly from here. This is only for a graphical representation, guys, nothing else. Okay. Something wrong, guys. This struck actually. So what we can do it. Let me try to release some memory. Free minus n. Sorry, Java. Okay. Right, I made some free memory there, so that's why it is proceeded further. Otherwise, it would have not. Right? Now this is successful. Once that is successful, it automatically triggered the test. Now just look at the same screen. It will flicker and it will show you the test automation started. Can you see it is started and completed as well? Okay, pretty quick because there is nothing over there. So this is how the pipeline will happen for one. This is for one project, guys. Okay, and similarly, you can create the project. I mean, this pipeline for multiple projects, so that the next row, next row, next row. So the entire dashboard will look like each and every project. What exactly is going on? What is the build state? What is the deployment state? What is the test automation state? So this is what your management expects you to perform as a DevOps guy. So they wanted to see everything in a nice GUI manner. They don't want to getting into the backend. So it is not that easy to show in the GUI because to get to this state right, you should have thorough knowledge on the build process, thorough knowledge on the deployment, okay, and creating that configuration, test automation jobs, okay. And to perform this, you should write the first chef scripts and all, okay. So without doing all this stuff, you cannot. You can just make a kind of a dummy presentation, but the actual work will not be going on in the backend, okay, until unless you make all these things up and running, right? So this is all about the continuous delivery process. Hey Hemant, so did you understand how I prepared this pipeline?
Yeah, yes, sir.
So make sure this kind of a work which you may expect in the companies to do it. Okay. So this is just for an example for a lead app application, but they'll ask you to do it for their applications. Okay. So just a few changes will be there in application types and all, and some stages, but the core work will be same. Okay. So this is what I want to show you. Like now you look at this, the deployment automation we did through scripting, we did through Chef as well. Okay. So you should be comfortable enough with any of it. Like they may ask you to do with the scripting, they may have to do with the DevOps tool. It's up to them. But we should be ready to do it in anything. Okay. So if you know this Chef, right? Like if you get an opportunity to work with the Puppet or Ansible, it's pretty much same. So only thing is the terminology will be different. So but rest of stuff will be almost same. Like example I would say in Ansible we call as the playbooks. The concept is same. Again, the architecture is same. Okay. The new words, the new terminology we will be learning. But once you get to know about one tool, right, like a chef and how it is working, learning the other tool is pretty easy. It's self-learning. You don't need anyone to put and train you. You can just get the documentation, set up by your own, and you can start learning it. Okay. That's how you can increase your portfolio of tools in your resume. Okay, by working on multiple tools. So as a basic stuff, as a kind of a push-up, I'm just trying to show you, trying to explain each and every tool and each and every scripting so that at least some basics. Okay, and in the market, Chef is the most popular among all the DevOps tools. Okay, so that's it from my end. The complete technical sessions are completed with this session. Okay, now we left with only one session, which is a roles and responsibility session, where I'll be explaining from day one to the last day what are all the tools we use, right? Where exactly we use them, okay, in a project development, especially in a day-to-day activities, okay, from Monday to Friday, like in a daily, how do you interact with the teams, what kind of a work you will be having. It's not about specific to technical, it's completely theoretical session. Okay, so I'll try to explain your roles, day-to-day roles, actually what you'll be doing, which team you interact, what kind of meetings you attend, what kind of a role which you will be playing in your team. Okay, what are the teams available, so all this stuff I need to talk in the final session, guys. Okay, the final session is really important, so let's plan tomorrow mostly. So I didn't check with the Jagan, so I don't want Jagan to miss this. Possible, just try to contact with him. Okay, and you guys decide and let me know, guys. Okay, because if I say some time may not